I wonder if you remember that I had 2 chicks hatch in the workshop.
Oh,
and one of the hens was obviously more interested in the egg that had hatched rather than the chicks. Well, the egg was a really old egg, so it never hatched. And I decided to give this little frizzle Spiny some quail eggs that a friend had given me. Well, we're now on day 28 and Spiny's absolutely obsessed with these eggs. So in order to stop her being broody, and also there's a great deal of disappointment when things don't happen, not only for us but also for the hen, I decided to go and get some quail chicks. But the only ones I could get, unfortunately, were 4 weeks old. Anyway, what I did do was to choose the 3 runts of the litter, if I can call them that. And so the 3 smallest ones came back with us from the farm. And this is the story of the experiment, and it was an experiment, to see if they would accept her and she would accept them. With the sort of thing I'm going to attempt, it's much better to do it at night and in the dark, because she will feel little chicks underneath her without seeing them and being worried that they're different, they don't look like chicks, because she's never raised quail before. And I'm just going to remove your beloved eggs. You don't want me to remove them, do you? But you can see she's well and broody. She's a brilliant little hen. So I'm just hoping that this is going to work. So I'm just going to remove an egg or 2 just to start her off. Yes, I know. Ooh, they could hatch. Do you think they're going to hatch? They could hatch. I've removed 2 eggs and I've put the smallest of the little quail in, and at the moment it's all going well. The quail is very quiet. It's obviously snuggled down underneath her and she's not showing any stress or seeming like she's worried about it. So we'll go for some more eggs. Hopefully I'm going to notice her voice changing, that she's accepting them, and she'll start talking to them shortly, hopefully. But as I say, it's much easier to do this when she's in the dark. That's why I've put this double carton here, so that she's usually out in this open carton. Oh, she's talking. Yeah, she's talking. She notices something. Quail isn't talking yet, but that's a good sign. She's talking. And then I can close this over the top, and then it will be very private. And hopefully by tomorrow morning they'll have imprinted on her and she'll have imprinted on them, and that'll be great if that works. And she won't want to sit on these eggs anymore, because they'll be large enough to be able to go out in the greenhouse with her, start scratching about, and she'll be able to teach them to forage. So far so good. I think we're getting rather hot under there, so we're actually half in, half out, but there's one right underneath, there's one just with his little head sticking out going to sleep, and this one at the back. And as you can hear, her voice is changing. Sounds like she's trying to communicate with them. So let's see what happens tomorrow. We've all had a good night's sleep. So they've had a good night's sleep, they've been together, and the quail actually got too hot underneath her because I did keep going and checking, and so they ended up sitting round her, but everything looked fine. And I'm putting them in now together with some food. She's going to start by wanting to eat. She maybe will call them, I don't know, she doesn't always do that. The hen sometimes just is so hungry because she's been sitting for so long that when she gets the food she's just going to go in there and eat it. She's not showing any particular sign of being worried about them at the moment, but she's also not showing any sign of any bond with them either. So even though they've been together overnight, there still hasn't forged anything between them. It's also a question of trust, her trust of me, the quail trusting her, and the quail trusting me as well. So it's a three-way problem. That's slightly worrying. Bit of body language there as the white quail approaches. I'm just slightly worried about the noise they make. The There's a very strident noise that quail chicks make, which is, I mean, chicks themselves, hen chicks make a noise, but this is different. You probably don't even recognise that as food. It's they've been eating it off the ground, so maybe this lettuce is confusing. This is all really to do with knowing your hen, understanding body language, and being ready to intervene if anything goes wrong. I mean, I know my hen well enough to believe that she will be a good mother. I'm sure she will, because she's a gentle hen and she's very affectionate. So I'm just hoping this is all going to work out. But I'll keep watching. Whoops, 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 whoops. Oh no, that's your baby. That's a nice baby. This is all about experimentation. That's why it's in a controlled setting. So if anything happens, I'll be able to intervene. At the moment, she's just enjoying her food. I mean, the noise you can hear, the growling, is because she really loves grapes, and I put some grapes down for her. And she's just telling them that these are her grapes and not to touch them. I'm giving them a joint activity at the moment, which is I've got some stuff out of the compost bin, which they're getting ready for the greenhouse, and I'm just hoping, I mean, they know how to forage already. It's incredible that these chicks were in a brooder all this time, and yet the first thing they recognise are wood lice. So that's great, but the problem I've got with them at the moment is that's all they recognise as food. So although I've been feeding them up on this excellent invertebrate protein, it's the only thing they'll eat. So I'd like her to introduce them to other foods, but first of all we need to create a situation where she's calling them over and they're understanding that that's something that's good to eat. They already know that, they're already eating these things, but I'd like them to associate good food with her, and therefore I'm hoping she will introduce them to these other foods, which they need after all. Protein, this is excellent food, but I would like to see them eating some greenery, for example. What is really sweet here is that she's actually sneaking up on them, trying to get them to go underneath her, because she obviously thinks they're 4-day-old quail chicks and need warmth. And that'll work really well, because again, this propinquity of pulling them together is something that will build a bond, and that's what I really need. I'm going to try them now with the new foods, new for them that is, and see if they will react to her, because obviously there's trust building up between them. Before when I first introduced them during daylight hours, she was actually pecking them. She didn't like them. She's still making a funny noise like she's unsure, but that's nowhere near as bad as it was. That's why I had to separate them initially. Some greenery, some scrambled egg, and some sprouted triticale. Until now, they're just not interested in anything like that. She's telling them I'm going to bring them over to show them. Look, what's that? It's good. It's good. Oh, this is much better than it was. Just got to keep bringing them over, just showing them. Look what your mummy's eating, look what she's telling you to eat. Oh, he's eating a bit of lettuce. Oh, that's a first. I mean, there's no reason why they should recognise these things, because that's not what they were eating before. I think they were eating a sort of game starter granules or something. I mean, this is all colourful food that and quail have a very developed sense of colour, so you're probably wondering what this is. Oh right, he just had a piece of lettuce then. Come on, you try. Come on. See what your mummy's doing. Come on. They're also eating an inordinate amount of soil. Oh, he's eating lettuce. Oh, that is brilliant. They're eating a lot of soil. They're obviously looking for minerals or little stones. So we just keep moving them in. There you are. I mean, they were in quite a subdued light before as well, so even this, like in the greenhouse, it's very light in here, so everything's so new. And of course I want her to think they're responding, because otherwise she's going to stop doing it and get fed up. But even one piece of lettuce is a start, because it's just that first thing of trying a food that's really important, so that they know it's good. Come on, look. Is your mummy telling you? It's probably something like getting children to eat broccoli. Oh. Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Even if they just play with the food to start with, that's a start. And if that wasn't enough, seeing him eat lettuce and seeing the little white quail come to her call, we then have this lovely little scene where they start dust bathing together, and that's a real social interaction, so they've really bonded now. I hope you've enjoyed this film. It shows you warts and all what can happen when you experiment with quail and chickens together, but the results are really rewarding. Thanks a lot for watching. All the best. Bye now.